Hi friends, hope everything is going fine. In our previous lecture we have discussed judiciary, its structure and features in detail. Now we are heading to our next chapter, local governments. So before heading to local governments in detail, let's understand some basic facts, basic idea about local governments. You know what exactly local government is? Government located at local level, or we can say government at the local level, right? And there are three different levels where these governments are located: village panchayat, block panchayat and district panchayat. It's a three-tier system, right? The very low at the very low level we have village panchayat, intermediary block panchayat, and at the top we have district panchayat. And the very concept was there even before independence, at the time of Lord Ripon. He has put forward the idea of what? Local government, right? Yes. So obviously he is known as father of local self-government, and it was one of the Gandhian principles. Gandhiji was a very, he has the very idea of establishing or decentralization. We can call it as decentralizing the administration or decentralizing the power, and then by making what the governance by the people, or govern what the people can directly participate to some extent. People can participate in the democratic process. That is the very idea of Gandhian logic of decentralizing the power. Okay, decentralizing the power that include economic power and administrative power, of course. So this is the basic idea of local governments. Hope you understood some idea about it, right? Yes. So moving forward, these are the important topics we are going to look at in this session. Why local governments, growth of local government in India, 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments, implementation of 73rd and 74th amendments. So here is our first topic, why local governments. We have government at the center or union, and we have government at the state level. Then why do we have local governments? Why? The very logic is center cannot look after each and every matter of a common citizen, right? That is why we have state governments. And even state governments cannot do directly much on the pupil or pupil's issue. So there must be a mechanism that can directly interfere in the day-to-day life of common people. That is why we have the very concept of local governments established in India, or at present it is running in India, right? Yes. So local government is government at the village or district level, government at the village level or district level, or intermediary we have block panchayat as well, right? Yes. And it is a government closest to the people. It is a government closest to the people. As I've already told you, it was one of the Gandhian principles. Gandhiji was an idea of having power to the people, right? Power to the people, power in the hands of the people. So it is one of the very effective mechanism through which people can participate in the democratic process directly. Even Gram Sabha. In Gram Sabha, those voters can participate and have their decisions or have their opinions, and it results in the decision making process. So they can participate in the democratic process directly, and many are considering this Gram Sabha is a part of direct democracy. In India we have the system of indirect democracy. We elect our representatives, right? Yes. But Gram Sabha offers or provides for direct democracy to some extent, not completely. Okay. Yes. Then it got constitutional status in 1993. Local self-government or local government got constitutional status in 1993, involved in day-to-day life of ordinary citizens, or involved Gram Sabhas or local governments involved in the day-to-day life of local people, local citizens, right? Yes. Then democracy is about participation and accountability. Of course, democracy in democratic process or in democratic system, participation of people is very essential, and accountability. The representatives or the elected representatives must be accountable to the people, right? Yes. Then common man can be involved in decision making concerning their lives, their needs and their development. As I've told you, it is a part of Gram Sabha, right? They can participate, or the voters The voters can they are the participants, okay? Voters are the participants. They can participate in Gram Sabha. They can have their opinions on the issues related to their daily life, their needs, and of course the development in the village or development in a particular ward. Okay, panchayat divides into wards, right? Yes. So in every ward there will be what, this Gram Sabha going on every year. Okay, yes. So concerning their life, needs and development. So these issues can be discussed in the Gram Sabha. Okay. Yeah. Then role of local governments in India. We have a government at the center. We have a government in every state, and even after that we have local governments. Okay. Yeah. Self-governing village communities existed from early times in the form of sabhas. So even before British came, there was a system in India called sabhas. So all the issues related to the people of a particular region will be discussed in the sabhas. Okay, and solutions and implementations and everything will be done in the sabhas, or the initiative will be done or had done in the sabhas. Okay. Then panchayat developed, resolve issues at local level. Most of the issues related to common people, common citizen can be resolved in the panchayat level, right? Yes. Then father of local self-government, we know Lord Ripon after 1882, then called local boards. At the time it was called local boards. Then it's a part of decentralization of power. Always remember decentralization. It's a key point. Okay. Then Government of India Act 1919, village panchayat were established. Mahatma Gandhi was an idea of decentralization of economic and political power. Economic and political power, not only economic power, political power as well. Panchayat members, it is a constitutional status. Okay, they are applied to the Constitution of India. So it's a very important body when we in the context of the life of local people. Okay, yeah. Then instrument of decentralization, participatory democracy, of course. It's an instrument of decentralization. Local government is an instrument of decentralization of economic and political power, and is a part of participatory democracy. People can directly participate in most of the decision making process related to their life. Subject of local government was assigned to states. Yeah, it is a state matter, or it is a state subject. Local government is a state subject. That means state can decide on local government issues. Okay, the matter mentioned in DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy. Then local governments in independent India. Of course, this local government was established with 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments. Okay, 73rd is related to local government, that is panchayat, gram panchayat, and 74th is related to urban. Okay. Then community development program, which was initiated in 1952, promote pupils' participation range of activities. So it's considered as a beginning in community development program that was initiated in 1952. It was just a beginning for this decentralization of power. People are getting more power. Okay. Then it's we have here in India we have 3-tier panchayati raj system. I've told you at the very low level we have village panchayat, intermediary block panchayat, and at the top we have apex level we have district panchayat. Okay. In 1989, the PK Tungkol committee recommended constitutional recognition to this panchayat. So in 1989, the center introduced 2 amendments. 73rd, it's for rural local governments. We can say panchayati raj institutions, PRIs, and it using 74th constitutional amendment, it's for urban local government, nagarpalikas. It's also called nagarpalikas. Then in 1992, 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments passed and came into force in 1993. It's a state subject. Okay, we know local government is a state subject. State can decide on the matters concerning local government. So 73rd is for rural local governments or panchayati raj institutions, and 74th is for urban local governments, or we can call it as nagarpalikas. Okay. Then 73rd, let's look at 73rd in detail. In India we have 3-tier structure. All states have this system. after having the constitutional status in 1992 and implemented and came into force in 1993, all Indian states have this system of Panchayati Raj institutions and Nagarpalikas or urban local governments. At the base is the Gram Panchayat, covers a village. Gram Panchayat, it covers a village at the very low basic level, at the very low level. And intermediary is Mandal, or we can call it as Block Panchayat or Taluka. Okay, Block Panchayat or Mandal or Taluka. And at the apex level, at the top level, we have Zilla Parishad or District Panchayat. It covers the entire district. So at the very low level, we have that covers a village or a panchayat. It's called what? Gram Panchayat. Okay, Gram Panchayat. And when it covers more villages, okay, 6 or 7 villages, we can call it as Block Panchayat. And when it covers a district, we can call it as Zilla Parishad or entire district. That covers the entire district, also called District Panchayat. So this is a 3-tier system: Gram Panchayat, Mandal or Block Panchayat, and District Panchayat. Okay, yes. Mandatory creation of Gram Sabha comprises of all the adult members registered as voters in the area. So it is mandatory. It's a mandatory provision to conduct Gram Sabha. Gram Sabha is a part of direct democracy. Voters are the participants. They can have their decisions, have their opinions on at the time, means at Gram Sabha, and Gram Sabha will discuss on it. Then they can pass it, right? They may pass it, yeah. Then elections conducted in 5 years. It's direct, Panchayat elections. Reservation, 1/3 of the position for women. So it's a part of women empowerment. So 1/3 seats are allotted for women. Okay. For SC ST in proportion to their population, can also be for OBC. So if a panchayat is panchayat consists of SCs and STs in majority, so there will be a reservation to SCs and STs. The same way OBCs as well, right? Yes. So the very idea is 1/3 of the positions are allotted for women. Okay. Yes. State Election Commission is responsible for conducting elections in Panchayat Raj institutions. Then State Finance Commission examine the financial position. So State Election Commission is responsible for conducting elections. Okay, not Central Commission, State. Then State Finance Commission is responsible for examine the financial positions. The financial position of most of the panchayat or most of the block panchayat is somewhat pathetic in the sense the revenue generating sources in panchayat in India is very minimum. So they have to depend the state government or the central government for funds. That's one of the drawbacks of the Panchayati Raj system. The very idea is the lack of revenue generating sources. Okay. Yeah. Then 74th Amendment, 74th is for urban local governments or Nagarpalikas. Urban area that minimum population of 5,000. These are the conditions, okay, for setting up Nagarpalikas or urban local governments. So minimum population of 5,000, at least 75% of male working population engaged in non-agricultural occupations. In the case of local or rural local government, we can see most of are engaged in agricultural activities, right? But in Nagar Palikas or in urban local governments or bodies, most of the 75% of the male working population must be engaged in non-agricultural occupations. Agricultural occupations other than means occupations other than agriculture, right? Yes. Then density of population of at least 400 persons per square kilometer. Okay, thickly populated, right? Yes. Mentioned in 12th schedule. And what about rural local government, which is mentioned in 11th schedule? Okay. So in 11th schedule we have local rural local government, and mentioned in 12th schedule or in 12th schedule we have urban local government or body. Okay. Yeah. Then implementation of 73rd and 74th Amendment. All state passed legislation to implement provisions for setting up these institutions, created an atmosphere and platform for pupils' participation in government directly. very little funds for their own, depending state and center. As I've already told you, one of the drawbacks of Panchayati Raj institutions is lack of revenue generating sources. So they have to depend, most of the time they have to depend the funds from the state as well as center. Okay, so most of the state passes legislation regarding the implementation of rural local government as well as urban local government. Okay, so this is all about Panchayati Raj institutions, or we can say local governments. It's a very important topic. This is the way through which we can implement direct democracy in India. You know, direct democracy is always appreciable over indirect democracy, because people can directly participate in the democratic process, the decision making process, the implementation process. Everywhere we can find the participation of local people, okay, people participation, or we can say citizens participation. So a quick recap, why local government, we know what decentralization of power in the sense economic and political power, right? Then there are two types of institutions using 73rd and 74th amendments. 73rd for rural local and 74th urban local. Okay, three-tier systems. Then 73rd in detail, 74th in detail, and finally implementation. So just go through your textbook, Indian Constitution book, and prepare notes okay, accordingly. Then stay tuned for the coming videos. So have a good time. Take care.